this. I enjoy a lot this. So, and I want to continue make history because I want to put my name in a big stage, in a big position for my history. So,
weight classes and everything else, it's going to be tough. But if anybody can bring some energy to this, it'll be Pro.
Tensions flare as ESPN's face-to-face brings Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford head-to-head. Crawford confidently dismisses the idea that Canelo is an overwhelming force, stressing he isn't the biggest at 168 pounds but simply strong. He believes fans exaggerate Canelo's size. For Crawford, this fight is about carving history, proving himself against a future legend, and cementing his own legacy by challenging one of boxing's greatest in the upcoming showdown.
He's strong, I'm strong.
Right.
You know, it'd be, to me, skill for skill.
Right.
You know, because Canelo not the biggest 168 fighter. So I just started looking into it, and I'm like, man, you know what? That would be a great fight to have a defining legacy fight with an all-time great that's been solidified and accomplished in the sport of boxing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know I interviewed Canelo right before his last fight.
Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez responds with sharp confidence, pointing out that many of his opponents make the mistake of underestimating him from a distance. Watching him on television creates an illusion that he is easy to handle, but reality strikes when they step inside the ropes. Canelo emphasizes that the ring is where his true greatness shows, reminding everyone why he has remained dominant for so long and how demanding it is to share the canvas with him.
oh, now I know why.
So when they sit there and they watch you on TV,
Oh, that is easy. No, I can do it. And when they step
get
in the ring, they see why I'm Canelo Alvarez.
absolutely.
Now, early in your career,
This episode of Million Dollars Worth of Game is brought to you by DraftKings. World of slot reels and blackjack deals come the must-play event of the summer from DraftKings Casino. Featuring non-stop action on all-star cast of games including A-lister.
The tension between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford has already reached a boiling point before they even set foot in the ring. A recent face-off turned heated when Canelo physically shoved Crawford, a gesture that symbolized more than just pre-fight theatrics. Such aggression illustrates the raw emotions fueling this contest and underlines that both fighters are bringing not only skill but also pride and fire into the showdown. For fans, this moment confirmed that the fight will not only be about technical brilliance but also about grit and intensity. These brief but powerful exchanges and promotional events give a glimpse of the mindset each fighter carries and foreshadow the storm that awaits when the bell rings. Terence Crawford has never hidden his ambition to cement himself among the sport's immortals. In an ESPN interview, he emphasized that facing Canelo is more than just another fight. It is about defining his career. He pointed out that Canelo is a future Hall of Famer and the last true icon from the previous golden generation. By beating him, Crawford believes he can secure a legacy that will stand the test of time. This fight is therefore not just a clash of two elite champions, but a symbolic passing of the torch where Crawford sees the chance to prove his greatness against one of the most accomplished fighters of the modern era.
Fight game?
I just think my ability to adapt to every fighter that I've ever been in the ring with. I think making my adjustments on the fly is a skill that benefits me in each fight.
I 100% relate on that one, being able to be nimble. Now, obviously, we've talked about you moving up a weight class to fight Canelo. You've talked about the respect that you have for him, but what it is about his style and what he's been able to do that you respect the most?
Well, I just respect him as all. You know, he's a great fighter. He's, you know, a good boxer. He's a good counterpuncher. He's never, you know, off balance. He got a good chin. He got good power. Got, you know, good movement when he want to move. What is there to not say about him?
No, I got you. Now, with all of that, as you rattled off, we'll call it the scouting report, right? What will you have to do to be your best version in order to get this victory?
I think just be myself and just don't get careless in the ring and, you know, stay sharp. all 12 rounds if it goes 12 rounds. I think that's the only thing that, I need to do.
Broadcaster Simon Jordan has described this matchup as the biggest fight in boxing history, and his words capture the magnitude of the event. According to him, Crawford's decision to challenge Canelo shows both courage and clarity of vision. In Jordan's view, the greatness of a fighter is defined not by avoiding risks, but by seeking out the most dangerous opponents. And that is precisely what Crawford is doing. He believes Crawford has the ability to prove himself in spectacular fashion and handle the challenge effectively. Such commentary highlights how this fight transcends simple competition. It represents ambition, risk, and the pursuit of ultimate glory in boxing.
We've got two of the best fighters in the world, and Terence Crawford trying to do what no other's done before, a four division world champion. And, jumping up from light middleweight now to super middle, trying to achieve the unachievable against Canelo Alvarez, who is pound for pound. Can he do it? I think he can. I think that this guy creates history. Terence Crawford is that good. I've always said it. I think that he lives with any welterweight. His best weight really has been at welterweight. He lives with any welterweight in any division for me. And that's including all the greats. You're going back to your Roberto Durans, Sugar Ray Leonards, all those guys. I think that he is that good. And we find out in September. It's going to be a fantastic fight.
Chris Algieri, a respected voice in the sport, has praised Canelo for the seriousness with which he is preparing for Crawford. By bringing in Jiren Ennis, one of the most skilled and dangerous fighters today, Canelo has shown that he is not treating this matchup lightly. Algieri explained that this move proves Canelo is working hard to simulate Crawford's style and sharpen himself against top-level competition. For the boxing world, this is excellent news because it guarantees that both fighters will enter the ring in peak condition, ready to deliver a war filled with aggression, intelligence, and high execution. The preparation on both sides raises the stakes and ensures fans will witness something unforgettable.
He was just trying to get through camp and just have use the same sparring partners over and over again, which you see a lot of older guys do, and just kind of get through it and not test themselves and be competitive. That would be more indicative than this. This happening is like, oh no, this guy's taking Crawford very, very seriously, and he's going to come fully prepared. If you're bringing in young studs like him to fight with, also he's got Darrell Blast Valsaint. He's a Pro Box TV guy who's a stud at 54. He's bringing these young studs who are athletic and they can hit and they're big and they know how to box and they can switch sides. It's like, wow, all right, Canelo's got the best sparring partners that he can for this particular fight, and I think that's good. I think it's good for the sport. I think it shows you that, he's taking this seriously, and this is a major fight everyone's going to watch, and it just makes you feel like the fight would be better that way.
Okay, I like that. What I didn't like was some of the takes that I saw from boxing Twitter, and I have to take those with a grain of salt. Oh my God, this is ridiculous what I'm about to say. I shouldn't even say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Why not? We're on a podcast. There were people saying that Boots, it was like anti-black code. He went against the culture to train and help Canelo beat another black man in Crawford. And
it's so reductive. It's so reductive. It's ridiculous. This is boxing, guys. This is the most diverse. Gyms are so diverse. Everyone comes in, you do your work, and it's
dumb.
The hell am I gonna say about it? But
there's nothing to say about it because it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I look at it purely from a boxing standpoint.
Right. Like, what does Boots owe to Crawford? They're like rivals. They're supposed to fight each other. Are they friends? No. If it was like a friend and it was like his cousin or something, or like it was like a
training
close
partner,
partner, close friend. Yes, then you have a juicy little narrative here, a little nugget piece of drama. No, this is just a guy who's looking to be good, to be great. If you're Boots Ennis and you get the call from Canelo, like, you're taking that, bro. Like, that's training with an all-time great. You're trying to get better. Iron sharpens iron. Don't know why we're giving that any light, but I think it's cool because I've said this for a while now, and ever since we linked up on the pod, I kind of understand fighters a little bit better and understand how you guys think, what you guys do.
On a podcast appearance, Sean Porter and the host reflected on Crawford's unique challenge in this fight. They admitted that while Crawford is not the biggest fighter in terms of size, his skill set more than compensates for any physical disadvantage. Porter emphasized that Crawford's intelligence, timing, and adaptability are rare qualities that could shine on fight night. It is this technical brilliance that has carried Crawford to dominance across multiple weight classes, and many believe the same abilities will be on full display against Canelo. For Porter, The size issue becomes secondary when Crawford's arsenal of skills is considered, which is why he expects an incredible performance from him in the ring.
Because Crawford is bigger.
Right.
Crawford is heavy, you know, like he carries himself, you know, he's very solid right now. He's taller, you know, when you see him the face off. So he is technically bigger. It's just the size it's very different when you carry that weight in the ring. That's what you got to worry about performing with. And, you know, just based off kind of like the performance at 154, although it was against a very solid fighter with Madrimov, I don't know if he's gonna be solid enough, you know, just used to carrying that type of weight around at 68. So that's that's the reason I lean towards Canelo, but the skill-wise, everything else, obviously still more on Bud's side.
Yeah.
So that's where my toss-up is. So I just lean towards Canelo because at the end of the day, you gotta respect the weight classes.
We've been real heavy on this fight. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks now. And I feel like every time I've spoken about Canelo and Crawford, the only thing I'm talking about is Crawford. So I said, you know what, today I'm gonna flip the script. Today it's all about Canelo for me, and I might break your heart in the process, but I gotta keep it real. You're right, this is a 50-50 fight. This is a fight where, as I was telling the Uber driver this morning, these guys, we've seen them both make mistakes in the ring, but they've never cost them, right? This is the first fight that I believe they both have are gonna get in the ring where the small mistake is actually a big mistake against the opposer. So Canelo making a small mistake is actually a big mistake because Crawford actually has the ability to somehow know that that mistake is about to happen, and boom, there it is.
Yeah.
Canelo, on the other hand, Crawford hasn't been known to get hit, especially early in fights. And Canelo is the kind of guy where, you know, he's going to come out and let his hands go. He's going to find moments to let his hands go. But when he finds those moments, you can't be caught slipping. You can't be caught sleeping. You can't be caught in between, do I go in, do I go out? Make that small mistake against this guy right here, it becomes a monumental mistake. And that might be the last time you make a move that night. You know what I mean?
Antonio Tarver, himself a former champion, offered a measured analysis of the fight. He stressed that Canelo does not have to win round after round to remain dangerous. With his power and precision, Canelo is the kind of fighter who can change the course of a fight with a single shot. For this reason, Crawford's mental strength will face its toughest examination yet. He must remain composed, focused, and disciplined for every second of every round. Yet, Tarver also acknowledged Crawford's undeniable self-belief. Crawford's hunger for this fight and the legacy it represents is evident. And that confidence could prove just as critical as his technical skills.
Gifted fighters out there, bro. And he got it the hard way. You feel me? The hard way. Through work, commitment, and dedication. And being a leader, he's really led a lot of these young champions. You feel me? So Crawford has stood out from the beginning, bro. Different. You know, the way he approached the game. And I love the way he processed the game when he get in there. Now, can he hurt Canelo? That's gonna be the key. That's gonna be the key, because you can't knock nothing out, you can't hurt. You can't knock nobody out, you can't hurt him. Now, if Crawford is in here to do 12 grueling rounds with a strong fighter like Canelo, I think his best game plan is to box, be elusive, in and out. You feel me? But never stand still long enough for Canelo to dig 3 or 4 on you, you know, with your back against the ropes. So it's a way to win. His fight style gonna have to be locked. And Canelo only need one punch. You know what I mean? That really, basically, that's what it boils down to. I think Canelo only need one shot to change the game or change the fight. Crawford gonna have to stay consistent and win out. He's gonna have to get ahead and stay ahead. You know what I mean? And then also looming is the controversy. Can Crawford win a close decision? I could never win a close decision. I never won a close decision. Even when I beat a guy 8-4. That's a draw for me. That's a draw. So it depends on who you feel me? Different folks for different strokes for different folks. You feel me? So you gotta be, can Canelo or can Crawford win a close decision? I don't think so. I don't know. Canelo is Canelo. You feel me? So now that could be a situation or issue. If Crawford win 8-4, they say it's a draw, or they give it to Canelo. you know. So in the back of my mind, that's what's looming. I think if Crawford is going to guarantee victory, he got to stop him.
Trainer Andre Rozier has weighed in with a balanced perspective, noting that while Crawford is incredibly talented, this will not be an easy road. He warned that Canelo is not an opponent anyone can take lightly, and even Crawford will face moments of hardship during the fight. However, Rozier believes if there is one fighter capable of navigating such adversity, it is Crawford. His versatility, composure, and ability to adjust make him uniquely suited to take on Canelo. Rozier's viewpoint underscores both the immense difficulty of the task and the rare talent Crawford possesses to make the seemingly impossible achievable.
He's ambidextrous, as is Crawford, so it can do nothing but help him. And he has Yolanda Hernandez also helping, another fighter who is ambidextrous, so it helps. And we just want to see him do what he has to do, because this is a great fight.
Who were you initially taking? Is it Crawford, or who were you initially
No, I think I'm always under the direction of the bigger, better man. And Canelo's the bigger guy in this fight, per se. He's been at that weight for some time. And Crawford is my guy. It's just 2 weight classes and everything else. It's going to be tough. But if anybody can bring some energy to this, it'll be Crawford.
Does Canelo bringing Boots into camp, does that lower Crawford's chances to you?
Commentator Showbiz, the adult, added his own dramatic take, arguing that Canelo may have found the perfect sparring partner to mimic Crawford's style. He suggested that this preparation could give Canelo an advantage that will allow him to overwhelm Crawford. While his statement carries a touch of hyperbole, it reflects the belief among some observers that Canelo's preparation could tip the scales.
It's over. So Canelo Alvarez having the perfect prep with Jerron Boots Ennis. You cannot get more perfect of a preparation for Terence Bud Crawford than Jerron Boots Ennis. Terence Crawford being known as a big welterweight, his athleticism being great, his slickness, IQ, boxing ability. Check, 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 check when it comes to Jerron Boots Ennis. I'm talking about the reflexes, the speed, relying a lot on your athletic gift, all the things that you cannot be taught. All those things that make Terence Bud Crawford an exceptional athlete in the ring. Jerron Boots Ennis, he has those things. Now you got Canelo Alvarez, who has fought Floyd Mayweather, fought Lara, fought Amir Khan, fought Austin Trout, fought all those boys, and now also being sharpened up and training with Jerron Boots Ennis.
Stephen Breadman Edwards offered a critical reminder about the limits of sparring. While he acknowledged that Canelo's choice to spar with Jiren is impressive, he stressed that sparring should not be mistaken for the actual fight. Edwards explained that sparring sessions are often about experimentation, trying out tactics, or sending psychological signals to future opponents. In this case, he suggested that Canelo may be using Andis as a way to project confidence and show that he is preparing for Crawford's style. However, once the fight begins, none of those sessions will fully replicate the intensity, unpredictability, and pressure of a real bout. As the fight approaches, many analysts and fans agree on one point. Crawford will be Canelo's toughest opponent to date. Unlike previous challengers, Crawford brings not only elite technical ability but also a relentless desire to prove himself. He is at the peak of his career, unbeaten, and highly motivated to create history. Canelo, with all his experience and accomplishments, has never faced someone quite like Crawford. This matchup is therefore not just another fight on the calendar, but a once-in-a-generation collision between two of the sport's best. The outcome will shape both legacies and may ultimately redefine the landscape of modern boxing.
Felix Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, Manny Pacquiao, Dimitri Bivol, Arthur Beterbiev, Bernard Hopkins, Floyd Mayweather. Damn, you don't think that was him?
So is Terence Crawford really better than all those guys in the toughest matchup of Canelo's career? No. Canelo just selling the fight. Realistically, Crawford is more skilled than some of those guys mentioned. You know, Trinidad, De La Hoya, Beterbiev. You could argue more skilled than Bivol, Pacquiao, and B-Hop. But once Canelo employed that Crawford is better than Floyd, I mean, he's just selling the fight at that point. He knows that's not true. The reason why Floyd had so much success against Canelo and is just a better fighter than Crawford is he has the sharper jab on the outside, but more importantly, he's the best defensive fighter we've ever seen. I mean, Mayweather rarely got touched, and he could counterpunch without exchanging. Crawford does not do that. You know, Bud is a take one to give one guy. He's willing to exchange to get his shots off. And that's why he's never been as sharp defensively as someone like Mayweather. And when you have that kind of style where you're willing to get hit, and then you move up 2 divisions against a hard hitter, usually it doesn't bode well. So no, Crawford won't have the same success Mayweather had, and Canelo knows that.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned. Until next.